Hi, this is Tanya from Love Buddha Tarot, back with the cards for the 30th of May 2017. We've nearly got through May. First of all, I just want to say that yes, there is issues with my sound. Last week, people were saying that they couldn't hear me. I've changed it. I did order a mic. It was the wrong mic, so I've had to send that back and order another one. So I have upped the volume a little bit. All you need to do is turn it down. Okay, it might be a bit crackly. There is a microphone coming, so I will get that sorted. But as long as you can hear the messages, you know, that's it. People were saying they were really, really quiet, so I have done something about that. Okay. Second thing I want to say is I love the fucking tarot so much. This morning it has blown my mind. I lay in bed this morning, there was all sorts of things going through my head, okay? And any of you that follow me on Instagram will see I wrote a little piece on Instagram, and it's my thoughts. They just come out, and, you know, I've got to get them out, and, you know, I might as well share them rather than just them being stuck on my phone. And there were certain things I mentioned in that. Then when I've looked at these cards today, I've came downstairs, I've looked at these cards, and I'm just like, wow, okay. There's messages coming through all of the time, and I feel that they're important. You know, it's spirit always knows, doesn't it? So I'm really, really excited with these cards. I think there's a fantastic message so far. I've just pulled them and what I got so far. So I'm going to go into it, okay? So like I say, bear with me when I get these feelings. You know, I never know where it's fully going to go. So just... please just give me a little bit of, I don't know, like I say, give me a little bit of trust. I think that's what's needed. So, right, okay, when I went to pull the cards, I'm using the Bonfire Tarot as well. Somebody was asking what this deck is, and it's the Bonfire Tarot, and they're absolutely fabulous. They're designed by an artist who didn't actually even know about tarot before she done them, which is quite interesting. So her take on them is not tainted in any way, which that even in itself is quite interesting. So I went to pull a card and one fell out on the floor as I was pulling. So we have two cards today. So this might be a bit of a long one. The first card that I pulled was the Two of Wands here. Now, the Two of Wands, I like this card. We had the Three of Wands yesterday. Today's the Two of Coins, Two of Wands. So it's like going back over a bit. So you may be going back over old ground. Now, what this talks about is a decision needs to be made, okay? And this is, do you choose the comfort of your safety zone, or do you step outside of it into the unknown and into ultimate possibilities? So this card, it's, if we have a look, you can't really see the wands a lot. There's a wand there and there's a wand there, but this wand is chained, okay? So that is your security. That is you know, where you know. This one is venturing out into the big wide world. Now, whenever I see this card, and especially with this one, it reminds me of, you know, elephants, you know, like a lot of times when they were trained, you know, not very nice, but when they were trained, they would tie a chain around their leg, and the chain was about a meter long. So this elephant would grow up thinking that it only had like this sort of meter radius to actually walk around in. When it got older, they would take the chain off it, but it would still stay in that because it had been that conditioned that that was as far as it would go. And this is what I feel is coming in with this as well. So this card, it means decisions, and it means a choice needs to be made, okay? But I feel that within this, you may have to leave something behind, okay? This is normally what happens, and this is usually a comfort blanket or a safety blanket, you know, sort of a safety net that you always have. Now, this is saying that this is a time of planning, progressing and moving forward, which we mentioned yesterday with the Three of Wands as well. But you are at a crossroads now. This is where you're at. So your mind may be, should I stay? Should I go? What? It's like I say, there's a whole new world out there, and this is what I keep getting, a whole new world, and I don't know why they keep saying that. But you know, you could have insecurities around this, okay? There could be underlying insecurities. I want to say when this card comes out, they're not justified, okay? This is to move you forward. And if we think of the wands are ideas, the wands are creation. Oh, sorry, 2 seconds, I forgot my phone this morning. Right, sorry about that. Very unprofessional of me. So yeah, so this is about, right, Right, where was I? Where was I? Right, okay, so this is it. It's like your insecurities might not be justified, okay, with this, because this is saying that if you stay where you are, there's no growth. And within ones, like I say, ones are ideas, okay? Ones are this like spark of fire inside your belly that will move you forward. So this is what this card is saying, follow the ones, let that fire burn sort of thing. So it's saying, like, your instinct is probably telling you want something new, or you want to sort of venture or go on an adventure as well. But, your ego might be saying, oh, if you do that, you don't know what's going to happen. And yeah, that is the beauty of it. If we knew everything that was going to happen every day, we could probably lock ourselves up and we could just exist. We wake up and we breathe and that's it. We don't actually experience anything. And a lot of times, when we don't make proper plans, and we just do it and we're spontaneous and we follow our gut and follow our intuition, it will lead us to something beautiful. Yesterday, I by chance, I ended up meeting an absolutely amazing couple, and I think they're in the 60s or 70s, and they were just so inspirational. They're both writers and artists and filmmakers, and I spent pretty much of yesterday with them, and they were just, I came back with a massive spark of inspiration. These people, this guy actually, he'll go from one end of the country to the other with no money. And he writes about it and he blogs it, and he just sort of like meets people on the way, meets strangers on the way who take him in or take him to his next destination. And it was, it was fascinating to meet these people who didn't fit in. They didn't want to fit in. They were unique. They were themselves. They were authentic. And what beautiful people they were. So hopefully I will see them again. They were amazing. And this is it. They took that chance to be their authentic selves, because this card is saying that there is a lot of fulfillment there waiting for you outside of your comfort zone. Nothing grows in your comfort zone. You don't grow, you stagnate. And our life is about growth. This is what we are meant to do. So this card is saying it's time to take a chance. This is what is actually needed. There's something bigger for you, something a whole lot bigger, okay? And a whole lot more meaningful as well. So it's like you need to leave familiar ground in order to do this. If you think of any explorer or discoverer or whatever, they never found the answers, sitting in their armchair. They actually had to go out and discover them as well. So this can also mean that this is the start of something. This could be the start of a new you. It could be the start of a new relationship, something that isn't quite, it hasn't quite got its footing yet, but this is telling you that you need to take a risk with it, But again, it's the sacrifice of leaving something behind. But when this card comes in, it's always worth it, Look, we have the sun and the target again in the background, So this card is basically, it's like every journey starts with a single step. Your balance will be restored when you actually make this move, So this is saying, trust your intuition today, make a choice, let go of fear. Do not let fear make you make a decision, okay? Do not make a decision based on fear, because all that'll do is tell you what the worst that will happen. What you need to look at is what is the best that can happen. And there's good things, really, really good things, because the card that came after it is the World, right? Now, this is very different, this card within this deck, and this is what I like about this deck. This card, the first thing it says is it's freedom from oppression. So where you have been stifled, this is giving you freedom. This is giving you wings to fly as well. And within this card, if we have a look, the lady is naked there, okay? Oh, sorry, they've just brought something into me there. Within that Two of Wands there, we look, the Two of Wands looks like it's tattooed on the wrist, and I have mentioned before that tattoo that I do have on my wrist there. And that means forget the past, you can't change it. Don't worry about the future, you can't predict it. It's today. You are strong enough, you know. And so they brought that in about the tattoo. And then when I looked at this, they've just highlighted the tattoo on her leg here. She's naked apart from this tattoo. Now, this tattoo that she has is of an eagle, okay? And an eagle, when we see an eagle is always symbolic of freedom, and it's symbolic of like a spiritual quest, sort of conquering a spiritual quest. If we look from an eagle eye view, when we look down at the whole, we see a much bigger picture, and an eagle can fly higher than the other birds, you know. So they've just brought that in there, right? Okay, so she's naked, right? This means she's vulnerable. She's like, right, okay, this is me. I don't need anything, you know. I have everything I have within me, and this is what today was in the thing that I wrote. I'll go into that in a bit because I'm sure there's something going to come up later with that. So anyway, I'll just go on. So yeah, so this is it. She is as naked as nature, sort of thing. And if we think of the fool who sets out on his journey, when he gets to the world, this is completion. This is when he knows he was once the seeker and now he's the finder. He's found something else. He's found something more. He realizes that, you know, the world isn't that big. He can have any part of the world that he wants. And he has a greater understanding, you know, when he comes to the world. And he realizes that he is part of a whole. You know, he is this tiny little bit, like the pale blue dot, the Carl Sagan. You know, this is it. He realizes that, you know, there's more to life. You know, it's mapped out. He is working together with the cosmos here, so he gains an understanding. And within that understanding, when he knows and understands how the world works, and even the bad times are meant to move him forward, this is when he will lose his fear. Okay, this person I was talking to yesterday said that they were telling me about all these things they'd done in their life. And it was like, wow. And I said, you have no fear. And she said, when I was 15 years old, my father was killed and knocked down by a drunk driver. And after that, I knew, you know, the worst had happened and I got through it. So I knew that, you know, I was never going to let fear stop me. And I was so touched with that, you know. So this is saying, you know, you will lose your fear, but we have the lion here and we have the bull. So this is, you will then gain your strength and stubbornness as well, where you are determined, you know. So strength and determination is coming with this understanding, because experience and experiences have made you wise, you know. So you can now see the world as you want it to be. The world is a beautiful place if you want it to be. The world is full of possibilities if you want it to be. If you think it's not, and if you think the world's an ugly place, that is how it will be. So we become the world that we inhabit. So it's up to you to choose which world do you want to live in. You know, a one that gives you growth and makes you happy and makes you exhilarated and makes you like high on life, or a one that keeps you small. Okay, a one that keeps you small, a one that, you know, where you have all these unfulfilled yearnings, where you don't think you're good enough, where you don't think you deserve this happiness and fulfillment that is a birthright of every single one of us. Okay, now within this, what I find is interesting as well. She's wrapped in sort of a red infinity symbol there. And I've mentioned it before, some of you mightn't have seen it, but I have that tattoo on my wrist, which is the red string of fate. And before we're put down on this earth, the gods tie, they say, in Japanese folklore, they say that the gods tie an invisible red thread around the little fingers of all souls who are meant to meet again in this life. And it doesn't matter where you are in the world, it cannot be cut, it cannot be broken, it can get tangled, but it will eventually lead you to where you need to be and to who you need to meet as well, you know. And this is what's coming with the world. This is the understanding. And once you understand that everything is happening how it should do, and that we are always protected and always looked after, you know, this is when you can let the fear go, and you know that you are safe. You don't need that safety net or that comfort blanket that you've been hanging to, because the whole world becomes a safety net for you, you know. And like I say, this is the infinity symbol, and infinity is like forever and always. It's limitless. It's actually, infinity comes from, I think it's Greek for infinite, infitas or something like that. Infitas, it's something, I can't remember it. And it means boundless, you know? So that's it. You have nothing to bind you. You have no bounds. You know, everything is unlimited. It's immense. It's beautiful. You know, this is the power of infinity. You know, so like I say, I absolutely love this card, and it's saying that all of your efforts, everything you've put in, every tear you've cried, okay, every ounce of sweat that you've shed, every ounce of worry you've had, you know, and every ounce of experience that you've had are all now coming together, you know, and it's like this has given you this understanding of how things are. And this is saying that, you know, it's paying off. You are about to get your reward. This is the end of a major cycle, but the start of a new one as well. And this one is going to be more positive. So through the hard and testing times, you know, you are still standing. That's it. You are still there. You survived because you're sitting watching this, you know. If you think you're weak or you can't get through this, look at you. You're sitting watching this with all of the shit that you've gone through as well. So have this new sense of serenity around you. You know, be proud of yourself. You know, give yourself a pat on the back and be your own best friend. You know, honor yourself for getting you through these hard times. Because this is saying everything is coming together now. You know, you have done so well to keep your head, you know, when everything has been crazy, but you are. And this is how you become, you know, and you are becoming who you truly are. And this card is saying that you are free now to go in whatever direction you choose. You can live your dream if you want it. You will be triumphant in all that you do because you are not failing. You are getting up every day and you are continuing and you are carrying on and you are moving forward. And every single day you wake up and that is another day that you've conquered and another day that you've got through when at times you might have thought that you couldn't. You know, so this is saying, you know, you've been learning lessons and well done. It's now time to graduate, you know. Never ever forget what it took to get you to this place neither. Never ever forget that, you know, because this has raised your consciousness higher and every bit of pain that you've had, you know, has been a growth into who you are now, you know. And this is it. You feel at one. You feel connected, you know, you see the wholeness, you see the unity rather than separation, you know. And when we are sticking in our comfort zone, everything is separate from us, you know. We're not connected with it. When you actually step out of that, you realize that you are connected to the whole, and you know everything is united, you know. So this is talking about your journey, you know. Now this could be, you could be going on a physical journey as well. You could be, you know, traveling the world, which is amazing. My daughter's flying for the first time herself today and she's like, I'm so worried. And I was like, be excited, you know, I'm so proud of you. So yeah, she's off on her travels. But this card is saying, you know, this is the journey that you've been in either externally or internally. And it's a very karmic card. And it's saying, you know, the universe is with you and the universe is about to pay you back. But you need to make this decision first, you know. Everything is there waiting for you at the end of this decision. But it's like you have to make the decision. The universe is offering you all this, but it cannot make that decision for you. So, you see what I mean? They're absolutely amazing cardsies. So, the Osho Zen Tarot we have here is past lives. And this is saying, I mean, I love this because I always think that this looks like female genitalia. So I always see this as like a birth and being reborn as well. So this is saying that you need to leave things behind as well, though, because this is talking about people. And this is what I put in my Instagram post last week because, you know, everybody knew what happened and stuff like that. And I was feeling very vulnerable. When I was feeling vulnerable, straight away the fear came in. So fear that I don't normally feel came in. What I then started to do, I started to then attack myself physically and verbally because I was scared. The negative self-talk within my head was atrocious. Physically, I drank too much. I ate crappy, horrible food. I'd done things that weren't good for me. And it was sort of a punishment to myself because I was feeling this anger and helplessness, you know. There was then a trigger. And this was a trigger around a family member, and it was to do with how I look and to do with my clothes. Now, this family member didn't do anything wrong. You know, there was nothing wrong in that. But it took me back to a place where I was not my authentic self, okay? So I stepped out of my authentic self and I stepped into my trying to please suit. I stepped into my I'm going to be what people want me to be. And it is so long since I've done that. And I realize now why I don't do that, because it just opened floodgates of self-hate, self-disapproval and everything. It was really, really bad. And this family member said to me at one point, that isn't who you are, meaning who I am now. That is who you are, okay? Put this on, that is who you are. And I went along with it. And that is not who I am at all. Do you know what I mean? It's not. And I was like, no, that was me 5, 6, 7 years ago when I felt the need for attention and admiration from other people. It's bollocks. It's not me now. So I stepped into an uncomfortable place, okay, to make somebody else feel comfortable. And that is not cool. And this is what this card is talking about, talking about how people will shape us and, how we wear masks and how we try to fit in. We were not born to fit in. We were born to stand out. Okay? So never let your authenticity drop just to keep somebody else feeling comfortable or happy, because it doesn't work, and I'm actually really pissed off at myself for allowing it, So this is it. And it's saying, people will give us rules that we've needed to stick to, and we've done that, and because we want to be the good human being and we want to follow the rules and we want to make everybody happy, but sometimes this is at the cost of our own happiness, okay? And I'm not saying cut these people out, but I'm saying have these boundaries which we've talked about, okay? It is okay to be you. And it doesn't matter what you look like or whatever. This led me on to crazy thinking, about, and like I say, there was a lot of issues came back, old issues, but they're sorted. And this is why I'm so happy today, because it's like, yeah, right, okay, I've got out of that crazy spiral. But like I say, people can mold us, and everybody we come into contact with sort of can affect us in some way as well. And if there's a negative energy or a negative pattern or a negative trigger around this can get hooks in us, and, it can cause the negativity to seep back into us. So this is saying, you are not the person that you used to be now, okay? But you are not the person that you're going to become. You are, you're who you are today, but everything we encounter will change us in a way. You've learned so much, but you've still got so much to learn as well. And this is it. You will learn this through lessons. So these lizards here are talking about our unconscious and our conscious and how we have this battle with ourselves. We had the Gemini moon last week as well, which, like I say, I do think it had something to do with it, because it's all about the two sides and the two sides of us and what face we show to the world, And this is it. And this is saying that, a lot of times we end up living somebody else's life for them. It's either the legacy that's been left to us from our parent or whatever, our family habits that we've picked up, or conditions that people impose on us, and it's like we feel emotionally attached to these people, so we want to please them, but it is at the expense of us, So this card is saying that this is like a wake-up call. It's quite like an egg timer. And like I say, this is saying time is ticking now, It's like the sands of time are dripping away. So, we everybody thinks they've got so much time, and we haven't, It's like do it now, just be like Nike and just do it. So this is saying that you cannot really go forward into your future and into this wonderful place of being if you are still carrying all of this baggage from the past. It's still there. It's like, things can be inside of us for years. Something somebody said 20 years ago can actually come back and bite us on the arse one day, but it's knowing that that's not real now. That was their projection of something. It wasn't anything to do with you, and this is what they're saying we need to let go of here. We need to understand the karmic patterns in our lives. We need to cut these cords when they are no longer needed, and we need to stop this repetitive cycle of damaging behavior to ourselves as well, because that That is not cool. So when we break the cycle, okay, this is when we clear our karma. This is when, you know, we can be connected to our past, but we don't allow it to control us. We can open up to a new life as well. And we can learn to do things in a different way. Because if we do what we've always done, we'll always get what we've always got. And that isn't about life. Life is about experiences and experiencing new things, you know. So like I say, every single one of us can learn from the past, but we cannot live there. It doesn't exist anymore, you know. And this is talking about, I mean, if we have a look, it's quite a dark and somber card. And this is saying, you know, do not let the past or the people from the past actually ruin your future, you know, and keep you sort of hemmed in, because that is not where you're going to get this fabulous growth and this feeling of unity. It actually makes you feel small, you know, when you are not small at all. You are amazing, and you are big, and you are large, and you need to go out and you need to live at large as well, you know. So then we have the Colette Baron Reid card, and sorry, I'm going to have a drink. I'm like really excited to do it. So yeah, then we have the Colette Baron Reid card, and this is called Between Two Worlds. Between Worlds. Between Worlds, right? Yeah, Between Worlds. And it's a beautiful card, this. I love this card. And this is talking about this decision, what we've already said. Okay? So there's this safety, comfort. There's this newness, unknown, uncharted, maybe scary, maybe exciting. We don't know. But it's like you have 1 foot in the past and 1 foot itching to go forward here, okay? And if we have a look, this side is grey, okay? It's a grey world. There's no colour in it. Now, with flamingos, the colour of flamingos, it's because of the food they eat, the shrimp and stuff like that. That's what makes them pink. When a flamingo isn't getting the nourishment that it needs, the food that it needs, what happens is its feathers actually start to go white or grey. And then eventually the flamingo dies because it's not getting what it needs. It's not getting its what's the word? It's not getting its nature, but it's not getting, oh, what's the word? It's completely gone. It's nourishment, you know, that's it. It's not being nourished from the inside out. And this causes it to become sick and to become ill, and, you know, and to not survive. But if we have a look at this side, when it's getting everything when it needs, when it's got this excitement, when it's living in a world of colour, and, you know, look at them blue skies, you know, away from worry. It's such a beautiful card. There's streamers going off. There's the crown. If we have a look at the crown, this is when the crown chakra is burst wide open, you know. This is when you can connect to the universe, but this is when you can also download from the universe as well. There's a little kingfisher in there. I don't know if you can see this. And this is saying kingfisher is always a symbol for abundance and peace as well, you know. And what it's saying with this is like, you know, you are between these two worlds and you don't know what is going to come, you know, but it will be worth it. And there's a great freedom coming. This is it. There's a freedom coming, you know, and it's like, you know, this is the mystery of life. This is the excitement of life as well. And, you know, the matrix and stuff like that, you know, there is so much more that we don't know. But like I say, we're there to learn. We've learned enough now that we know that there's something more. And this should encourage us to go out and pursue and see what else there is to learn, you know. So this is saying, you know, you maybe have been thinking about this for a while, but you haven't made that move yet. You haven't done that. Now is the time. This is why this decision should be made as well. You know, be curious rather than scared about what's there. Look at children, you know, how adventurous children are. Be like that, you know, because this is what is coming for you. Take a step out of this grey world and into a world full of colour, and you will not regret it because it's fabulous. Now, I don't know what the song is there. There's the Kingfisher, and is there a song where it's you? I'll be your king and you'll be your queen. You'll be my queen and I'll be your king. Yeah, they're talking about king and queen there. King, queen. I'll be your. think it might be a Van Morrison song. I don't know what that is. But yeah, this is it. You know, it's like always wear your invisible crown. That's what you need to do, you know, because you are fabulous. You are that colourful flamingo. A flamingo is flamboyant. You know, they call a group of flamingos a flamboyance of flamingos. How amazing is that, you know? And they're like the Liberace's of the animal world. And they are beautiful. And if you look at them, you know, I mean, even their legs are that thin, but it carries them. And they walk with grace and they walk with poise, you know? And they just, I don't know, they're amazing, amazing creatures. And, you know, we are amazing, amazing creatures. And we need to take this credit and give ourselves this credit, and we need to live our life in a flamboyant way. You know, like I say, this couple I met yesterday, talk about flamboyant, they were the most colourful people. I went to the house and their front door was painted like a rainbow, and I went in the house and it was all filled with art and murals and everything like that, and it was just like, wow, I was just so in awe of these people, and they were the most amazing people I've ever met. So I was deeply grateful, and they didn't care, you know. They were living their life true to them, and you know, they were living a fantastic, inspirational, interesting, funny, love-filled life, you know. And when I am 70-year-old, if I'm even a fraction of what this couple were, you know, I will have achieved my goal. Okay. So I hope those cards made sense to you. I've really been on a roll there today, but I hope they made sense to you. Please let me know if they did. There's a fabulous feeling. I said June was going to be a good month, okay? And it's like I can feel the June energy coming in already. So please let me know if they made sense to you. And if anybody would like a personal reading with me, please get in touch via my Facebook or via my website. The links are below. I'd love to connect with you. I'm like I say, the messages I'm getting and everything, you know, every day I feel blessed, and that kept me strong last week when I went into this crazy headspace, you know, of I hate Tanya world. And I don't, you know, I like I say, I'm proud to admit it. I love Tanya, you know, and all her quirks, I think. So thank you, because the messages kept me strong, and that's what you need, you know. It's like I say, sometimes when you can't support yourself, know that there's other people out there to support you, and know that the universe always has your back as well, because it does. And it will, you know, it will slap you in the face if you need it. You know, it was like the universe gave me a big hard shake and said, come on, stop being so stupid. And it was like, right, okay, sorry. Felt like a little kid. But this is it, you know, don't step out of your authenticity for anybody, because it doesn't work for you. Okay, so I'm sending absolutely loads of love and sparkles and glitter and anything that I can today, okay, because today is a fabulous day. Okay, much love. Satnam.